The human fleet moved through the darkness of space like a silent storm. Tiny ships and massive cruisers glided in perfect formation, each one humming with energy. The alien fleet, vast and arrogant, waited to meet them, believing they would crush the humans easily. On board the Aegis, Captain Elena Maris watched the approaching alien ships. The medics and crew worked quietly, tending to civilians, but there was a sense of anticipation in the air. Every human aboard knew something had changed. Earth had arrived. The battle was no longer one-sided. Outside, the alien commanders observed the human fleet. "These ships are small, slow, insignificant," one said, voice dripping with disdain. "We will destroy them before they even reach us." But the humans had a different plan. Captain Marcus Hale, leading the Earth fleet from the flagship Dauntless, observed the alien formation carefully. "Do not engage yet," he ordered. "Let them underestimate us. Wait for my signal, then we strike where they least expect." The alien ships laughed at the sight of the slow-moving human fleet, their confidence unshakable. But as the humans advanced, strange bursts of light flashed across their ships. Shields shimmered with unusual colors, energy weapons glowed faintly, and tiny drones scurried around larger vessels, invisible to the naked eye. Elena noticed the aliens' confusion. "They think we are weak," she muttered. "But they are about to learn the truth." Suddenly, the human fleet split into smaller units, weaving between the alien ships with incredible precision. Fighters darted like lightning, dodging lasers and striking at vulnerable points in the enemy formation. Engineers had calculated every movement, every angle, every possible attack. The aliens had never faced such coordination. Jonas, the young medic, leaned over a viewport. "Captain, look at them. They're not even noticing the smaller units attacking their flanks." Elena nodded, her eyes cold and focused. "They will soon. Patience, Jonas. Humans always fight smart." The first alien destroyer exploded in a blinding flash of light. The shockwave rippled through the surrounding ships. Some alien fighters panicked, breaking formation. Others tried to retaliate, but the humans moved faster, striking again and again. Back on the flagship Dauntless, Marcus Hale smiled. "They underestimate us. Perfect. Now we escalate." A new wave of weapons activated across the human fleet. Energy beams, unlike anything the aliens had seen, cut through their ships. Drones released in swarms targeting critical systems. Shields held firm as aliens tried desperately to adapt. The humans were small, yes, but they were precise, ruthless, and perfectly coordinated. In the chaos, the Aegis remained protected. The medics continued their work, civilians safe inside reinforced compartments. Elena watched as one of her young engineers hacked into a damaged alien fighter, turning its weapons against its own fleet. "That's brilliant," she whispered. The alien commanders were now panicking. "These humans, their technology, it's unpredictable," one shouted. "They are not like anything we have ever faced." On the Aegis, Mira sent another small signal back to Earth, hidden in the energy waves of the human fleet. "They're learning fast," she said. "The aliens are adapting." "Good," Elena replied. "Let them adapt. We have more surprises waiting." The battle intensified. Alien ships tried to form a tight perimeter, but the humans were too fast, too smart. Every attack the aliens launched was countered. Every strategy they used was anticipated. And yet the humans did not attack recklessly. Every movement was calculated, every strike meaningful. Outside, explosions painted the void of space with bright streaks of fire. The Aegis floated amidst the chaos untouched, as if protected by an invisible shield of skill, courage, and intelligence. Jonas looked at Elena, wide-eyed. "Captain, we're winning, but this is only the beginning." Elena's gaze remained steady. "Yes, but today humanity showed the galaxy we are not weak. Today, the aliens learned that humans fight back. And tomorrow, we will strike again, even harder." The alien fleet, once confident and mocking, now faltered. Their formations broke apart, confusion and fear spreading among their ranks. They had attacked a human hospital ship, expecting an easy victory. Instead, they had walked into a trap, carefully planned, brilliantly executed, and deadly. As the Aegis moved safely through the battlefield, carrying the injured and the brave, Elena allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had taken the first step, and the galaxy had just begun to understand the cost of underestimating them. The counterstrike had begun. The unexpected war had shifted, and the humans were ready for everything the aliens could throw at them. The void of space trembled with the echoes of war. Alien ships, once confident and mocking, now moved with caution. They had faced the human fleet before, but never like this. Every human ship seemed to anticipate their moves, striking with precision and disappearing before retaliation. On board the Aegis, Captain Elena Maris watched the holographic display of approaching alien reinforcements. Her heart beat faster, but her voice remained steady. Prepare for another wave. Shields at maximum. Medbay teams brace for impact. Jonas, the young medic, gripped a railing. Captain, how many more of them are coming? Too many to count, Elena replied calmly. But remember, humans fight smart. Focus on your duties. That is how we survive. In the distance, massive alien dreadnoughts appeared, their weapons bristling with deadly energy. Smaller fighters swarmed around them like angry wasps. The alien commanders shouted orders, trying to form an unbreakable wall around the Aegis and the human fleet. But the humans had a plan. Captain Marcus Hale, aboard the flagship Dauntless, issued his commands with calm authority. Divide the fleet. Hit their flanks. Draw them apart. Protect the hospital ship at all costs. We will not let the civilians suffer. Outside, the human fleet moved like a living organism. Fighters darted between alien ships, disabling engines and shields with precision strikes. Cruisers fired concentrated beams, breaking alien formations. Energy pulses hummed across the battlefield. A strange and deadly pattern no alien had ever seen. The aliens growled in frustration. They are too fast. Their attacks, unpredictable. How can this be? Elena watched as a group of alien fighters tried to corner the Aegis. Move to the lower corridor, she ordered. The crew responded instantly, maneuvering the ship through the battlefield like a ghost. The alien weapons fired again and again, but the shields held. Small bursts of human technology flickered, confusing the attackers. Jonas helped a wounded civilian to a safe compartment. Captain, I've never seen anything like this. They're panicking. Elena's eyes hardened. Good, let them panic. Fear will make them sloppy. On the flagship, Marcus Hale smiled grimly. Now the next phase. Small squads of stealth ships detached from the main fleet, appearing suddenly behind alien lines. Explosions rippled across enemy cruisers as sabotage drones infiltrated and disabled critical systems. The alien commanders were shouting in anger. These humans, they are everywhere. We cannot predict their movements. Even as chaos erupted around them, the medics aboard the Aegis continued their work. Every life mattered. Stretchers rolled through reinforced corridors. Injured civilians received aid while alarms blared and the hull shook with each alien strike. Mira, monitoring the alien patterns, noticed something unusual. Captain, they're trying to regroup, but our attacks are forcing them into narrow paths. We can trap them, Elena nodded. Do it. Prepare the energy net. The energy net was a human invention, a massive invisible field that could trap multiple enemy ships, immobilizing them while human forces struck with devastating precision. Within minutes, dozens of alien fighters found themselves trapped, unable to move, their weapons useless. One alien commander bellowed over the comms. Retreat! Retreat at once. These humans. They are not like any species we've fought. But the humans did not stop. They were relentless, protecting the Aegis while striking at the heart of the enemy fleet. Lasers cut through alien hulls, drones dismantled engines, and stealth ships appeared like shadows, invisible until it was too late. Jonas turned to Elena, awe in his eyes. Captain, they can't win against us, can they? Elena placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. They underestimated us, Jonas. That was their first mistake. And it's going to be their last, for today. Outside the battlefield was a storm of light and fire. Alien ships fell one by one, their formations in shambles. The human fleet moved with the precision of a master tactician, combining courage, skill, and technology that no alien had predicted. Even as the Aegis floated safely amidst the chaos, the crew knew the war was far from over. Reinforcements would keep coming. The aliens were angry, wounded, and eager for revenge. But for now, humanity had proven something vital. No matter how strong the enemy seemed, humans fought with intelligence, courage, and unity. And the unexpected war was far from over. As the Aegis sailed through the shattered remnants of the battlefield, Elena whispered, almost to herself. Today, we survived. Tomorrow, we strike harder. The aliens had learned a terrifying truth. Humans were not just survivors. Humans were strategists, fighters, and unstoppable when their own were in danger. And the galaxy would soon know it too. The alien scouts moved silently through the vast blackness of space, their sleek ships slicing through the void like predators stalking unseen prey. Captain Zorak, the youngest commander in the fleet, sat in the central command chair, eyes fixed on the glowing holographic monitors in front of him. They were at the edge of human-controlled space, a place no alien had dared to explore before. It was a boundary marked by whispers and legends, a line in the cosmos that even the bravest fleets avoided. This is it, Zorak said softly, almost to himself. Our sensors are detecting something unusual. Around him, the bridge crew leaned forward, their eyes wide with curiosity and tension. The readings jumped and flickered across the displays, showing energy spikes far stronger than any technology they had ever encountered. Ships back home would never believe this. The numbers defied everything they had been taught about human capabilities. Even the most advanced weapons of their empire seemed weak in comparison. Commander Reth, a veteran of countless campaigns and conquests, laughed harshly. Foolish readings. Humans are primitive. Their ships, their weapons, their so-called defenses, nothing is real. This is a glitch. We should not waste our time worrying over shadows. Zorak didn't answer. A deep unease had settled in his chest. Even the silent void of space seemed tense, as if holding its breath. Then, without warning, a streak of light flashed across the edge of their sensors. A human ship, small, fragile-looking, almost insignificant, raced past the alien scouts at a speed their sensors could barely track. It disappeared into the void almost instantly, leaving no trace behind. The bridge fell silent. Not a single word was spoken for a long moment. Then Reth laughed again, louder this time, though the edge in his voice betrayed his unease. See? Nothing. Just a flicker. Humans cannot move like that. Our fleet is stronger by far. But Zorak's hands trembled slightly as he adjusted the control panels. The energy spikes remained, persistent and impossible to ignore. They hummed through the sensors, a subtle warning that something was wrong, something dangerous. The alien crew had always been arrogant. They had conquered hundreds of worlds, destroyed civilizations, and claimed every victory as proof of their superiority. Humans, in their eyes, were weak, fragile, and slow. Zorak had always shared that belief. But now, the certainty of their superiority wavered. "Captain," said the sensor officer, her voice tense. "The energy readings are increasing. They're active. Something is moving out there. Something alive, or at least extremely powerful." Reth waved a dismissive hand. "Alive? Please. Humans are tiny creatures. Their ships are toys. We are here to explore, to prove our strength. That is all." Yet even as he spoke, the unease in the fleet grew. The scouts inched closer to the boundary. Every flicker of light, every pulse of energy on the monitors felt alive, like the unknown was reaching out to test them. Suddenly, one of the fastest alien ships vanished from all sensors. No explosion, no warning. Just gone. "What happened?" Reth shouted, his voice sharp, cutting through the bridge like a blade. "Report immediately." The communications officer's hands shook as she typed frantically. "No signal, sir. It's gone. Just vanished." Zorak's stomach turned. For the first time in his life, he felt a real fear. Not the thrill of battle or conquest, but a cold, creeping dread. He had heard legends of human cleverness, of their ability to survive impossible odds, but nothing could have prepared him for this. "Perhaps it was a malfunction," Reth said, though the certainty in his voice had cracked. "No," Zorak said firmly. "That ship didn't malfunction. Someone made it vanish." Whispers spread across the bridge as officers exchanged worried glances. Questions hung in the air. How could humans produce such energy? How could they move at impossible speeds? Why had the first ship disappeared without a trace? No one had answers. The aliens had prepared for this mission. They had charts, strategies, and weapons capable of destroying moons. They had conquered countless civilizations without resistance. Yet none of that mattered here. The human territory was an enigma, a puzzle wrapped in shadows. Reth slammed his fist on the control panel, frustration boiling over. Enough! We move forward. Humans cannot hide behind tricks forever. We will show them the strength of our fleet. Zorak stared into the starfield ahead. Strange energy pulses glimmered faintly in the darkness, forming patterns that seemed almost alive. He could sense intelligence, cunning, and something far greater than anything they had imagined. The fleet advanced slowly, scanning every inch of space. Silence stretched across the void, broken only by the low hum of the engines and occasional crackle of communications. Every shadow seemed alive, every flicker of light seemed to watch them. Another flash. Another human ship darted past them, faster, brighter, almost impossible. It moved between the alien vessels with precision and vanished again. One scout fired, its weapons instinctively, but the shots passed harmlessly through empty space. The human ship was gone, leaving only fear in its wake. Panic began to ripple through the alien fleet. Officers whispered to each other, their voices low and filled with unease. The arrogance that had carried them across thousands of worlds began to crumble. Fear crept into hearts that had never known it before. "Captain," said the youngest officer, her voice trembling, They're faster than anything we know. They're not just defending, they're hunting us." Zorak's eyes narrowed. "Then we will find out soon enough. We will see what lies beyond the edge of human space, God, and what power the humans truly hold." Every alien ship was on high alert. Every sensor tuned to catch the smallest anomaly. They had entered a world they did not understand. A world where speed, intelligence, and strategy worked differently than anything they knew. The vanished ship, the energy spikes, the impossible speed, all pointed to a force beyond their comprehension. A force that had watched them, studied them, and perhaps silently laughed at their arrogance. Reth paced the bridge, his face pale. "This is unexpected. None of this should be possible. Humans cannot be this advanced." Zorak did not answer. He only stared forward, feeling the storm they had entered. They had crossed into human space. They had ignored the warnings, laughed at the mystery. Now the unexpected war had begun. Suddenly, a massive energy pulse lit up the sensors. Another human ship appeared, moving impossibly fast, and vanished just as quickly. This time, the flash seemed deliberate, as if the humans were sending a warning, a message, a test of courage. The alien officers realized for the first time that humans were not what they had been taught to believe. Humans were clever, fast, and far more dangerous than anyone could imagine. Their technology was unlike anything the aliens had seen, but it was not just the tech. It was strategy, cunning, and the ability to anticipate every move. Whispers of fear spread through the fleet. They were no longer the hunters. The humans were watching, waiting, striking unseen. Zorak's voice was quiet but firm. "Keep moving. Observe. Learn. Do not underestimate them. We have entered a war we did not start, but it has already begun." The alien fleet continued, engines humming softly, every officer tense. They were entering a trap they could not yet see, a storm of human ingenuity and power that would test their arrogance and skill. In the distance, more energy spikes appeared, faster and stronger than before. Another ship vanished, leaving no trace, no warning, only the terrifying reminder that humans were not as weak as they had believed. The unexpected war had begun, and in the darkness of human space, the aliens would learn a lesson they would never forget. The black void of space stretched endlessly in every direction, silent, cold, and indifferent. Alien scouts drifted through it like predators, their sleek ships glinting faintly in the starlight. Captain Zorak sat in the command chair of the lead ship, eyes fixed on the holographic displays that filled the bridge with soft, eerie light. They were at the edge of human-controlled space, a region that had long been whispered about in alien circles. It was a boundary no conqueror had dared to cross, a line that marked the unknown and dangerous. "This is it," Zorak murmured, almost to himself. "Our sensors are detecting something unusual." Around him, the crew leaned forward, captivated. The monitors flashed with energy readings far stronger than anything the aliens had ever seen. They were unnatural, impossible, and completely unlike any human technology the Empire had studied. Ships back home could never match this level of energy output. Even their most advanced weapons would be weak in comparison. Commander Reth, a veteran of countless battles and campaigns, chuckled and waved off the reports. "Nonsense. These readings are a glitch, nothing more. Humans are primitive. Their weapons, ships, defenses, all of it is weak. There is nothing here to worry about." Zorak did not reply. A creeping unease settled in his chest, one he had never felt before. Space, usually silent and predictable, felt tense, as if it were holding its breath. Then, a sudden streak of light tore across the monitors. A human ship, small, seemingly fragile, raced past their fleet at impossible speed. The sensors struggled to keep up. Before anyone could react, it vanished into the void, leaving no trace behind. The bridge fell silent. Not a single voice dared speak. Then Reth laughed again, this time a little too loudly. "See? Nothing. Just a flicker. Humans cannot move like that. Our fleet is far stronger than anything they could possibly possess." But Zorak's. The black void of space stretched endlessly, cold and silent. Alien scouts moved through it like predators, their sleek ships glinting faintly against the distant stars. Captain Zorak, the youngest commander in the fleet, sat in the command chair of the lead ship, eyes glued to the holographic displays that pulsed softly in the dim light of the bridge. They had reached the edge of human-controlled space, a place spoken of in whispers, feared even among the bravest alien fleets. This was uncharted territory, a line that marked the unknown and perhaps the beginning of something far more dangerous than any conquest they had ever faced. "This is it," Zorak murmured to himself, barely audible over the soft hum of the ship's systems. "Sensors are detecting something unusual." The crew leaned forward, their eyes locked on the monitors. Energy readings jumped and flickered across the screens, showing spikes far stronger than anything the aliens had ever known. Ships back home would have been incapable of producing such power. Even the most advanced weapons in their arsenal seemed weak in comparison. Commander Reth, a veteran of countless campaigns, laughed sharply, dismissing the readings with a wave of his hand. "Nonsense. These readings are glitches. Humans are primitive. Their ships, weapons, defenses, all of it is meaningless. There is nothing here to worry about." Zorak did not reply. A strange tension had settled in his chest, one he had never felt before. Space, usually silent and predictable, now seemed almost alive, as if the darkness itself were watching, waiting. Then, without warning, a streak of light flashed across the bridge monitors. A human ship, small, almost fragile, raced past the alien scouts at a speed their sensors could barely track. It vanished before anyone could react, leaving only a brief streak of light and a growing sense of unease. The bridge fell silent. Not a single voice dared speak. Reth's laugh came again, louder and harsher this time, but there was a sharp edge in it, a hint of unease he could not hide. "See, nothing. Just a flicker. Humans cannot move like that. Our fleet is far superior." But Zorak's hands shook slightly as he adjusted the controls. The energy spikes persisted, humming through the monitors like a living warning. Something was out there, and it was far stronger than anything they had expected. The alien fleet had always been arrogant. They had conquered hundreds of worlds, destroyed civilizations without mercy, and claimed every victory as proof of their superiority. Humans in their eyes were insignificant, weak, and slow. Zorak had shared that belief for most of his life. But now, doubt crept in. "Captain," said the sensor officer, her voice tight with tension, "the energy readings are rising. They're active. Something is moving out there. Something powerful. Perhaps intelligent." Reth waved dismissively. "Alive humans? Don't be absurd. They are nothing. We are here to explore, to show our strength. That is all." Even as he spoke, the unease in the fleet grew stronger. The scouts edged closer to the boundary. Every flicker on the monitors, every small pulse of energy seemed alive. It was as if the darkness itself had a heartbeat. Suddenly, one of the fastest alien ships vanished from all sensors. No explosion, no warning, just gone. What happened? Reth shouted, his voice sharp, cracking with tension. Report immediately. The communications officer's hands shook as she typed frantically. No signal, sir. It's gone. Just vanished. There is nothing. Zorek's stomach churned. Fear, real and cold, had entered his chest. It was not the thrill of conquest, nor the adrenaline of battle. It was a creeping dread, a sense that they had entered something far beyond their understanding. He had heard tales of human cunning and survival skills, but nothing could have prepared him for this. Perhaps it was a malfunction, Reth said, though the certainty in his voice had vanished. No, Zorak said firmly. That ship didn't malfunction. Something or someone made it disappear. Whispers spread across the bridge. Questions filled the air. How could humans produce such energy? How could they move at impossible speeds? Why had the first ship vanished without a trace? There were no answers, only fear. The aliens had prepared meticulously for this mission. They had maps, strategies, and weapons capable of destroying entire moons. They had conquered civilizations far stronger than humans. Yet none of it mattered here. Human space was a mystery, a puzzle shrouded in darkness. Reth slammed his fist on the control panel. Enough, we move forward. Humans cannot hide behind tricks forever. Our fleet will show its strength. Zorak's eyes narrowed as he stared at the distant stars. Strange energy pulses glimmered in the void, forming patterns that seemed almost alive. He sensed intelligence, cunning, and a power far greater than anything they had imagined. The fleet advanced slowly. Every officer was alert, every sensor focused. Silence stretched across the void, broken only by the low hum of engines and the occasional crackle of communications. Every shadow seemed alive. Every flicker of light seemed to watch them. Another flash lit the monitors. A human ship appeared, faster, brighter, impossible. It moved with precision, darting between alien vessels, then vanished before anyone could react. One scout fired instinctively, but the shots passed harmlessly through empty space. The human ship was gone. Only fear remained. Panic rippled through the fleet. Officers whispered wide-eyed. Their arrogance, which had carried them across countless worlds, crumbled. Fear crept into hearts that had never known it. Captain, said the youngest officer, voice trembling, they're faster than anything we know. They are not just defending, they are hunting us. Zorak's voice was calm, steady, but firm. Then we will find out soon enough. We will see what lies beyond the edge of human space, and what power the humans truly hold. Every alien ship was on high alert, every sensor tuned to detect the slightest anomaly. They had entered a realm they did not understand, a realm where intelligence, speed, and strategy worked differently than anything they had ever learned. The vanished ship, the energy spikes, the impossible speed, all pointed to a force beyond comprehension, a force that had watched them, studied them, perhaps even laughed silently at their arrogance. Reth paced the bridge, his face pale. This is unexpected. None of this should be possible. Humans cannot be this advanced. Zorak said nothing. He only stared forward, sensing the storm they had entered. They had crossed into human space. They had ignored the warnings, laughed at the mystery. Now the unexpected war had begun. A massive pulse of energy lit the sensors. Another human ship appeared, moving impossibly fast, and vanished just as quickly. This time the flash seemed deliberate, as if the humans were sending a message, a warning, a test. The alien officers realized for the first time that humans were not what they had been taught. Humans were clever, fast, and far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. Their technology was unlike anything the aliens had seen. But it was more than tech. It was intelligence, strategy, and the ability to anticipate every move. Whispers of fear spread through the fleet. They were no longer the hunters. Humans were watching, waiting, striking unseen. Zorak's voice was calm, steady, yet full of authority. Keep moving, observe, learn, do not underestimate them. We have entered a war we did not start, but it has already begun. The fleet advanced deeper into unknown space. Engines hummed softly, every officer tense. They were walking into a trap they could not yet see, a storm of human ingenuity and power that would test their arrogance, their skill, and their very survival. In the distance, more energy spikes appeared, faster and stronger than before. Another ship vanished, leaving no trace, only the terrifying reminder that humans were not weak. Fear spread across the alien fleet. They had crossed the line into human space and were being watched by a force they could not understand. They were no longer the hunters. They were being hunted. Zorak's eyes narrowed as he stared into the darkness. Another streak of light appeared. A human ship moving at impossible speed, almost taunting them. It vanished again, leaving the alien fleet shaken, uncertain, and afraid. The unexpected war had begun, and in the darkness of human space, the aliens would learn a lesson they would never forget. The black void of space stretched endlessly, cold, silent, and indifferent. Alien scouts moved through it like predators, their sleek metallic ships reflecting faint starlight as they glided forward with deadly precision. Captain Zorak, the youngest commander in the fleet, sat in the lead ship's command chair, eyes locked on the glowing holographic monitors that pulsed softly in the dim bridge light. They had arrived at the edge of human-controlled space, a place long whispered about in alien circles, feared even among the bravest commanders. This was uncharted territory, a region of legends and mystery, a line that marked the unknown. "This is it," Zorak murmured to himself, his voice barely audible above the low hum of the engines. "Our sensors are detecting something unusual." The crew leaned forward, captivated. Energy readings jumped and flickered across the screens, spikes far beyond any technology the aliens had ever encountered. Ships back home would be incapable of generating such power. Even the most advanced weapons in their arsenal would falter against this force. Commander Reth, a veteran of countless campaigns, laughed sharply, dismissing the readings with a wave of his hand. "Nonsense. These are sensor glitches. Humans are primitive. Their ships, weapons, defenses, none of it matters. There is nothing here to worry about." Zorak did not respond. A strange